On behalf of Executive Director, Mr. Roger Merritt, I am pleased to present this webinar to you guys. I am Alex Bruney, Senior Staff Engineer for the Waste Management Authority. Next slide. The Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority was created in January of 2004 by Act 6630H, which amended Title 29 of the Virgin Islands Code and adding Chapter 8, establishing the authority as a fully autonomous nonprofit instrumentality of the Virgin Islands government. Then Governor Turnbull proposed legislation to create a separate entity that exercises control over all aspects of waste management, including solid waste, wastewater, and residential septic systems. If folks remember, over 20 years ago, waste management was managed by the Department of Public Works. Public Works having vast number of responsibilities wasn't really focused primarily on waste management of the territory. By Governor Turnbull's intention or hope, by creating this new authority, it would address the cumulative harmful effects of improper disposal of oil and solid waste, groundwater, landfill fires fueled by improperly vented methane gas, groundwater contamination caused by landfill leachate, in addition to the crumbling sewer system collection and transportation system. In addition to the discharge of untreated or partially treated wastewater into the surrounding seawaters. Back then, we had a lot going on. Frequent downage of our pump stations, frequent breakages of our collection system, fires at the landfills. It was a lot at that time. By combining all aspects of municipal solid waste management in a single oversight agency, the governor sought to create an organizational structure to advance modern and responsive waste management designed to bring the Virgin Islands into compliance with the Federal Emergency Protection Agency guidelines. This was done by the amendment of Title 29 by the addition of Chapter 8, removing all functions specific to waste management from the Department of Public Works and transferring it to the responsibility directly to the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority. We are mandated to operate and maintain wastewater and solid waste collection, treatment, and disposal services to protect the public health and preserve the environment of the Virgin Islands. Our vision is to be the most efficient, effective, and fiscally responsible waste management agency in the entire Caribbean. In doing so, our core values are strong towards safety utmost for our employees and the residents of the Virgin Islands. We have a compliance team, a wonderful compliance team that ensures that we remain in compliance on both on the wastewater, on solid waste side of our operation, and teamwork. Teamwork is the key in doing everything. We try to make our customers happy, satisfy our responsibilities to the community in the most cost-effective manner. Waste management, also known as VIWMA. Next slide, please. We provide wastewater services for approximately 60% of the Virgin Islands. Wastewater, as we define it, is any water contaminated by human use. This liquid may or may not contain organic solids originating from homes and businesses. However, if this untreated water is discharged into the environment, it will create diseases and a nuisance to the public. I've often told folks that if the employees of waste management were not doing our job correctly, the amount of diseases that would have broken out within our territory, the Department of Health and the hospital staff would not be able to control the amount of sickness that would have occurred as a result. So again, every time I get a chance to speak publicly, I thank the staff of Waste Management for doing such an excellent job in protecting our environment. Next slide, please. Our wastewater infrastructure. In the St. Croix district, we are comprised of approximately 102 miles of wastewater pipelines. Those pipelines are transferred to the treatment plant. It's assisted by 3 major pump stations and 12 small pump stations. Now, the smaller pump stations, if you think about it, as the system as a vessel, the smaller pump stations basically take the wastewater from smaller basins like Montbijou, Concordia, and the smaller residence areas, and transport it to the area where the major pump stations picks it up and then transports it to the treatment plant. If you're familiar with St. Croix, we start off with the LBJ pump station. The wastewater is then pumped to a certain point where it's then fed by gravity to the Fig Tree pump station, and then pumped to the Anguilla treatment plant. On the west side of things, everything is diverted to the Lagoon Street pump station and then pumped to the treatment plant as well. On the St. Thomas St. John side of things, similarly, we have over 300 miles of collection system. The difference between the St. Thomas St. John district and the St. Thomas district is that we have approximately 7 pump stations in this district. The difference for that is because of our terrain. It's kind of impossible to have everything pumped to one pump station as a result of our hills and our terrains that we have on this side. Of the 8 treatment plants that we have territorially, I am proud to say that 6 of those pump stations are managed, controlled, and operated by waste management staff and employees. We have certified treatment plant operators that do an excellent job in maintaining control and operation of those plants and meeting the TPT's requirements. On the solid waste side of our operations, in the St. Croix district, we have 3 major bin sites: Concordia, Montbijou, Cotton Valley. In addition to a transfer station, scale house, and 1 convenience center, which is a Peter convenience center. Similarly, on the island or the district of St. Thomas and St. John, again, we have 51 bin sites. We have the Mandal Convenience Center, the scale house at Bruney, and the gas energy building located at our Bruney landfill. Again, the difference between the number of bin sites in both districts has a lot to do with the terrain. We could do a lot more house-to-house pickup in St. Croix because it's a nice flat terrain, versus in the St. Thomas and John district, it's kind of difficult to get into the smaller areas with the solid waste trucks. So it's a lot more easier to have these bin sites where folks could deposit the waste into the various bin sites. St. John, we have the Susannaburg transfer station. We also have a few bin sites in St. John as well. We basically collect approximately 200 tons a day on the island of St. Croix, and in the St. Thomas St. John district, roughly about 300 tons per day combined. The collection of solid waste is done in-house by our staff, and we also is assisted by contractual waste haulers. And now, throughout the years, we have often heard about the concerns about the capacity of our landfills. Well, it's difficult to give a real sense of when we will be exhausted in those landfills. Although we are close to capacity, the extension of the life of each landfill is continuing to increase because of the various diversion programs that we have been implemented over the years. And we'll continue to, as time goes on, implement new diversion programs in order to divert waste away from our landfills. Next slide. Problematic materials. Waste, tires, electronic waste, and used oils are all concerning issues within the territory due to the improper disposal by our residents. Although we have a household hazardous waste program implemented at both landfills where we receive e-waste and used oil, illegal dumping is still on the rampage. It's very, very high. In addition to, we have an extreme difficulty trying to partner with someone or businesses in the States to receive our recyclable goods, including used e-waste and used tires. That's a challenge that we're working on right now, and hopefully we could come to some resolution in the near future. Plastic bags, plastic, like anywhere else in the world, it remains problematic within the Virgin Islands. A bill was passed a few years ago banning the use of plastic bags to include plastic drinking straws and to allow for the sale of reusable drinking straws. However, due to COVID, much of the plastic suppression was suspended, reducing the progress that was made a few years ago. Next slide. Inherited challenges. The historical management of waste throughout the territory in terms of waste separation has continued to be a deterrence territory-wide. The most difficult challenge is managing the territory's waste, is changing the mindset of our residents. We have become so used to not separating our waste. We put our cans, our bottles, our green waste, everything all in the same container, and once it's hauled off away from our residents, it's no longer our problem. This mindset has to change as we move forward in the future. There are various waste diversion programs that has been implemented, and we continue to implement that. In order to be successful in these programs, that mindset has to change. Another part of the issue that we have which is a great challenge to us, is to get folks to understand that we have gotten used to not paying for the disposal of solid waste within the Virgin Islands. And I think we're probably the only place in the world that does not pay for the disposal of solid waste. This has to change. In order for us to safeguard our environment, it comes with a cost for us to live in paradise, especially living in our geographic location where everything has to be imported. Likewise, everything that we do has to be exported, which is an extreme part of the cost. We could recycle plastic bottles, cans, and so forth, but as we collect these items, it has to be exported off island to a source somewhere in the United States. Next slide, please. Some of our up and coming initiatives. I am pretty much excited about this one. Through the CDBG-DR program, we are receiving approximately $9 million in grants for the construction of 5 convenience centers throughout the territory. 2 in St. Croix, 2 in St. Thomas, and 1 in St. John. Our bin sites in Concordia and Montbijou in the near future will be converted from bin sites to convenience centers. Similarly, our Smith Bay site and our Nazareth/Red Hook site will be constructing convenience centers in those locations as well. And not forgetting our site in St. John, Susannaburg, would also be a convenience center. We work continually to try to update our fleet. We just received 2 collection trucks, which helps us to better serve our community. Long-term wise, we are looking into developing a composting program that would allow us to divert organic waste away from the waste stream into this program, further reducing the disposal of waste in the landfill, thus further expanding the life of the landfill. Next slide. We have a grant from the Department of, from the EPA. We're working in conjunction with the Department of Plant and Natural Resources. This grant is, I'm excited about this because this is a waste diversion grant that would allow us to divert green waste, C&D, used tires, and scrap metal away from the landfill. Now, we already have a scrap metal program in place, but what this does for us is allow waste management to purchase equipment, and we can sort of revamp our programs so we could see a better cost savings in the recycling of scrap metal. When it comes to the used tires, we have a serious issue territory-wide. As soon as we bale and dispose of used tires, then here comes another pile again. So by the use of this grant, it allows us to basically purchase the equipment, set up a program where we'll have a continuous process of the removal of scrap metals from the territory. We have, we're excited to work with both DPNR, the legislature in implementing programs and kind of changing the laws in the diversions to better assist us in handling the used tire problem that we have. Again, with the green waste, we are bringing in grinders and trommel screens that we could take the green waste that is deposited daily at our landfills, divert it from the landfills, and create compost or mulch or something that could be used to boost up the agricultural arm of within the territory. In conclusion, WMA is continuing to preserve paradise efforts through waste diversion, best practices, and new initiatives. We are working and partnering digitally to work towards these goals. With the community assistance, all these things are possible.
Thank you so much for